What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to be covering the brand new faction that was recently revealed in the two-part interview that me and Nubkex had with Banana Jam, and it's going to be this Greco-Roman style faction. Now, I don't know about you guys. You guys can let me know in the comments below, but I was completely surprised by this final faction here, at least for the time being. Banana Jam did mention that there might be future factions, which also surprised me as well, considering that this placeholder banner has been here for probably years at this point. As you can see here, this hidden banner. But now we actually got revealed the type of faction and the overall aesthetic of this faction. I'll bring it up on screen right now for you guys. In case you guys missed the part 1 and part 2 reveal, make sure you guys check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But here it is. This picture no longer exists, so this is a pretty grainy picture of this. Pretty sure there's some kind of disclosure thing going on, but this is the clearest picture we have. But it's a Greco-Roman style, so Greek-Roman style type of faction. You can see that the character in terms of overall aesthetics seems pretty true to like what an actual person would look like. So there's nothing too crazy about him. There's no like cyborg implants or anything like that. So at least in terms of this guy's, makeup or aesthetics, he just looks like a regular dude with, some pretty cool armor. The background looks amazing, by the way. Love the detail, the fire, the spears. It looks awesome. And I think in this video, I just want to kind of talk about the possibilities of this faction. I think there's actually quite a bit. Initially, I wasn't too impressed and I thought it was kind of meh because I didn't really want to see like another humanoid type of faction, just because I don't think Raid necessarily is that gung-ho about it. I think most of their humanoids, they put kind of helmets on them or some kind of mask, probably to save the animations on them or to save them looking like ninja. Yeah, looking like this guy. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we can take a look at some of the Greco-Roman style mythology and then see what can be possible. I mean, there's a lot actually. Now, I never really took too much attention to like mythologies in general, so I don't really know too much about the Greek and Roman mythologies at all. But like even like for me, I know Hercules, I've seen Achilles, like for example in movies. Odysseus I've heard of. So these could be like heroes that they could really jazz up. Like for example, they have Thor and Odin already. These are Norse heroes, gods. And in this case, you could definitely add some of these super powerful characters into this faction as well. And it also leaves room for more original characters too, right? You don't necessarily need to use their names. For example, Hercules, born Achilles or Achilles. See, I didn't know that. Son of Zeus. Yeah, definitely Zeus should be in here. There's quite a bit of content here. Like if you type in gods, for example, it gets kind of crazy, right? Because then you're talking about like Apollo here, god of archery. That's gonna be pretty cool. You also have Poseidon. I know Poseidon, he's the god of the sea, right? And then you have Ares, god of war. But anyways, you guys get the idea. There's actually a lot of content you can actually pull out and just stuff it into this new Greco-Roman faction. I wonder what it's going to be called. They didn't actually give it a name. But if you also type in Greco-Roman mythology and then you type in creatures, there's actually a very interesting cast of creatures as well. Centaurs. We kind of have a centaur in Alo. Alo is like, kind of like a centaur, I guess. Where's his aesthetic here? He does look pretty cool. He doesn't really. No, never mind. I thought he was more like a centaur, but I was probably mistaken a little bit because his upper body doesn't have a shirt on, but his lower body looks like it could be a centaur, like from this part on. But yeah, anyways, so centaurs definitely could be part of it. That'll be really cool. We have Cerberus here. This is the multi-headed dog. So this this almost gives another option for them to bring this creature into this game, and then maybe even pair him with Packmaster. I thought that would have been cool if they put him at some point during the Asgard Divide event. That would have been cool. We have the Minotaur. It's already in game. We have Chimera, for example. It's already in the game. We have Medusa. I mean, Medusa is basically Mithralia, but they could definitely play it up again. We've seen them do that with Thor, right? Because there's already a very Thor-like character already in Raid, and then they added Thor anyways. So I wouldn't be surprised if they added in Medusa, even though Mithralia is very similar to Medusa, or it's probably based on Medusa. You have the Sphinxes here, you have Hydras here, you have Harpies. That's probably going to be an ad as well. That's going to be pretty cool. You have different type of Hydras. You have the Manticore, which is pretty cool. You have Cyclopses, Lions, Sirens, Griffins. There's already a Griffin in the game, but hey, you could add another one. And you know, this style or faction doesn't always have to be restricted to like humanoids. For example, like elves, the high elves, they have the Torah, for example, right? And now we have orcs that have the dogs in them. So they're not, you know, necessarily the same kind of physical style. And there's really no limits on them. Like you could have human heroes doing, you know, very powerful abilities like lightning strikes or earthquake style abilities, or even bringing in waves of water, for example. So yeah, it could be a very like magical almost faction, and I could totally see it. Banana Jam also slightly hesitated when we talked about whether the faction would have been a water themed faction, and she did hesitate slightly, not saying that it was totally not. So she did kind of, you know, she fell short of saying it's not a water theme. So there's perhaps something in this faction that has some kind of water based ability, perhaps. I'm thinking it's probably going to be somebody like Poseidon, who is the god of the sea and all that. So maybe also you could bring in some kind of ocean creatures, ocean monsters as well. That would be pretty cool. And I think the last exciting thing that we can talk about is like potential collabs that kind of fit into this new style of faction. And I'm thinking of these two IPs that actually cross my mind when I think of this style of character or this style of class. So the first thing that comes to mind would be this IP, the 300 series. Obviously, you have, you know, these mighty warriors here with the famous red capes. And who else could they be but the mighty 300 Greeks? But anyways, I think this would be a pretty cool collab, and it could fit right into this new kind of faction style. So the other IP that I was thinking about as well was this IP, the God of War. So Kratos, God of War. He's actually based off of a Greek mythology as well. Kratos, so a figure of associated with strength and power. So, you know, God of War, I mean, this is something that I've kind of predicted in the past. They've made player-based surveys already. So Plarium has given these surveys to players with titles like 300 with God of War in them already. And you know what? Maybe people were really all about those titles, and them releasing this Greco-Roman style faction maybe gives them a fast track to kind of saying, hey, the fans really want this, or the fans are more in tune with this kind of style. Therefore, we're going to lean into this Greco-Roman faction, and then maybe we'll bring these IPs on somewhere down the line. Now, I think that's kind of exciting because I think these characters will be pretty cool, of course. Any kind of cool IP is always really, really fun. So hopefully this new class delivers. Like I said, I was kind of surprised to hear that we are getting this style of new class, basically like a Greco-Roman style. I was actually kind of disappointed, but after looking into it a little bit more, I'm like kind of excited now because I feel like they have a lot to work with, and everything for Raid, they're going to make it look awesome regardless. So I'm excited to see what Raid has in store for this new Greco-Roman style faction here. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys have a name for this faction? Let me know, because I can't think of a name for this faction for my life right now. What do you guys want to see from this faction? Do you guys think that it's going to be more humanoid based? Do you think it's going to be like humans with magical powers? Do you think it's going to be more, you know, gods based? Maybe add in some creatures? I think there's a lot of options here for Raid. Is there any IPs that you're excited about? Like I said, 300 or God of War. I think they just kind of fit right in very easily. If you guys didn't know, they said that the faction would probably come in the first quarter of 2026. So not too far away, but still a little bit of time away. They usually give us at least a month or two's notice before announcing a new faction, because it gives people a chance to finish Lydia or whatever, make preparations and all that. So something to look forward to the future. But yeah, let me know your comments in the comments below. I'm sure Plarium's watching, so if you guys got some good comments, make sure you guys leave it below. Maybe it will actually come to life. You never know. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.